with something wrong and making that verbally known. Even though I have a fenced-in yard, I still have to go sit out there every time they're outside because of Draven's verbal commenting that he does. There's a girl that lives next door who is mentally challenged, and she drools a lot, and she can't talk very good. And to Draven, that's funny. When she's out there, he'll say things, repeat what she says the exact way that she says it. And when I get on to him over and over and over and try to show him the proper way to go about it, it's the hardest thing to get through to them. He'll also say things to people who are walking by. Just yell it out at them. And I'm afraid that one day he's going to say something to the wrong person and it's going to get bad. That's like an impulse thing for him. He'll just yell it out. And then he'll realize what he just said and, oops. Destructive tantrums is a huge one that I deal with Destin. I have a big picture window in my living room. During a tantrum, he threw something and completely shattered the window. I have gone through 2 flat screen TVs that were broke during a tantrum. It's almost like my 4-year-old becomes the Hulk. I mean, his strength and everything increases. He picks up things that I would never think he could pick up. And then he throws it. Most of the time, it's at someone or something. And these are in response to very, very small things. Like wanting more juice, or the show he was watching on TV went off. They're just very inappropriate responses to everyday little things like that.
Mommy, I'm stuck.
Well, how did you get up there?
I'm gonna go down. I'm stuck. Hey, what are you doing here?
Draven, don't do that. Here's one for you. My stress level makes my brain go in and out, so I forget things very easily. I spent an hour this morning fighting with Destin to get him ready for school. Just to take him down to school. And when I saw no one there, remembered, oh yeah, he doesn't have school today. And that's not the first time that I've done that either. I've done that so many times. And I just read the note last night that says no preschool tomorrow. After a question that I was asked this morning, I thought today's a perfect day to talk about sensory stimulation. And that is when you're stimulating the nervous system to give a positive response throughout the whole body. If the right stimulation is used, we might need a little bit of sensory stimulation right now. If the right sensory stimulation is used, it can bring a child from up here all the way back down to here. He's very elevated, like very actively elevated, so he's doing everything very aggressively. So he needs deep pressure therapy to bring him back.
Again.
It's hard to do one-handed, but rolling the ball on him gives him some deep pressure stimulation. Any kind of heavy work, like I'm having him push against my foot, that work calms them. Okay. Heavy work is also really good for kids with ADHD because it helps to give their body that stimulation that it needs that's causing them to be so hyperactive. Other types of heavy work, pushing or pulling a wagon full of weights, or the resistance bands, like the giant rubber bands, pulling those. There are so many different sensory stimulation tools out there, and each one works for different situations. Nothing will work for everything. I made Destin a calming ball. There's a few things in there that he likes, so when he gets really emotional, shake it up, set it down, and let him sit and watch it until it settles. And if you're wondering what's on my shoulder, this is a weighted blanket that I made for Destin. The whole blanket itself weighs 5 pounds. These, along with weighted vests, are like miracles for parents of children with autism. That is another deep pressure stimulation tool that is very, very calming for them. A light touch can actually set off their nervous system and get them very aggravated, very on the edge. But a deep touch, a heavy squeezing pressure can actually calm things down almost immediately. Think of it like a hug. When you're really upset, someone gives you a hug. Do you feel better? It's very comforting for you. And those are really good for kids with ADHD too. Even adults, somebody suffering from anxiety, it can help them greatly. A little massager wand that I have for them. As I said before, I usually give it to them when they're really upset, and they will put it where they need that sensory stimulation at that time. And Destin always puts it by his mouth or on the bottom of his feet, almost every time. Putty is also a good little form of heavy work. It's also good for developing fine motor skills in the fingers. Well, I did have a thing of Bubbles sitting out here to use as an example, but as soon as he saw that, he took that. Bubbles, amazing for him. Same thing with bubble wrap, especially the bigger bubble wrap that's sitting and popping. It's very calming for him. Other tools like this can work when they're at a happy level of overstimulation. It's stuck in my hair. And just in case you don't know what this is the tool that goes over the head, which I'm not doing it now because my hair is up and it'll get all tangled. But yeah, it goes down over the head. And you don't want to use this when they're emotionally upset, because for my kids, it makes them worse because it's a light touch. There are so many different sensory stimulation things. Like we have a sensory swing, and I mean, my entire house is filled with sensory objects. I got Draven's chew necklace that I ordered in the mail today, so now he'll stop chewing on his shirt.